what I will confirm, what I will validate, what I will second is that he's a hell of a fighter. He's much more than what a lot of people thought he was, which was just a good puncher. He's a complete son of a gun. And not just physically and technically, but mentally. He thinks like a fighter. He behaves like a fighter in that ring. He is patient when he has to be patient. He is always contained and controlled. I remember Michael Jordan, I think the greatest basketball player of all time. Everyone has their different, it's subjective. But I remember one time he was saying, one of your greatest responsibilities is to never let the game get ahead of you. Never get outside the game. Never get outside the game. And he never lets the game, he being Davis, never lets it get away from him, never lets it get ahead of him. He stays contained. He stays controlled. He won't go in there, even when he's being aggressive. He's taking little steps because he's all along the way. He's aggressively cautious, aggressively cautious, where he understands the domain that he's in. There's never a moment where you don't understand. He's cerebral, I guess is what I'm saying. He's cerebral inside that ring. And all of that, those qualities, the mindset, the physical ability to have good hand speed, to have great power, but also to be so dimensional. His people have done a good job, as far as whoever was really in charge of teaching him and, helping form him from a technical basis. He is so complete. He can go get you. He could go inside. He could go outside. He could use the ring, which he does often, and he can counterpunch. He can do so many things. He can time you. He can go to the body and the head, of course. And, and he finishes well. And the funny thing about him is when you hear the name Tank, I mean, Tank, oh, Tank, whoa, oh, yeah, you're not thinking, quiet stuff. You're not thinking, cerebral stuff. You're really not. Let's be honest. You're not thinking, okay, a guy that's, cerebral and a guy that's contemplative, but he's all those things too. That's the weird thing about it. That's the funny. I find that very interesting, and I find it significant. And also, you wouldn't think when you hear Tank, you wouldn't think this guy's Tinker Toes. Where he's going to be balleting around, he's going to be doing any Muhammad Ali stuff. But you know what? He doesn't do it at that level, but he does it. He does it. He takes that tank, and all of a sudden he takes it on the peripheral of the ring, and he puts it on wheels. He takes it off the caterpillar stuff, those treads, and he puts it on wheels, and he moves around until he finds the right spot. I said one time, I forget who he was doing against, probably Garcia, and he's moving around, and might even been Romero, and he's moving around, and I said, you know what, he reminds me of, Brian, you're getting a kick out of it. He reminds me of the old time janitors, the superintendents in the big buildings, those big buildings, and they had a big brass key ring about this big with 1,000 keys on it. But every key, they knew that key was for a certain door to get into the building. When he's moving around, I'm saying he's the super with that big key ring, and he's looking for the right key to get in the door.
I love that. You're great with the analogies. I love that. I love the analogies. I
and
love
he
them.
finds the right key.
He does.
He doesn't walk into a room and like bang, oh my God, I should open that door. And a lot of guys do. Romero walked into that room. Garcia walked into that room.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he don't, and that's part of what separates him, and makes him a guy that's one of the most complete fighters right now of all time.